There comes a moment in every man's life when everything he once held close begins to slip through his fingers. No matter how tightly he grips it, no matter how desperately he claws at the edges, the ground beneath him continues to crack and the things he loves are swallowed into the darkness. And when that moment comes, there are only two paths left. One leads to surrender, the other to transformation. He had nothing left. Not in his bank account. Not in his relationships. Not in his soul. The people he trusted had turned away when the storms began. The love he thought was forever turned out to be fleeting. The dreams he had nurtured since childhood, they were dust now. Lying in broken pieces on the floor, staring back at him like shattered glass. Reminding him not just of what he had lost, but of who he used to be. And yet, he didn't quit. You see, it's easy to keep going when the sun is shining and your pockets are full. It's easy to smile when your phone buzzes with support, when people clap for you, when love surrounds you like a warm blanket. But when the lights go out, when the nights grow long and cold, when no one is watching and no one is calling and no one is helping, what do you do then? That's where he found himself, alone, sitting in a room with nothing but silence and shadows, his chest tight with the weight of failure, his mind replaying every mistake, every missed chance, every painful goodbye. He was tired, not the kind of tired a nap can fix, but the deep exhaustion that comes from carrying disappointment on your back for far too long. He had screamed into the void. He had begged for a sign. He had fallen to his knees and whispered, "Please, I can't take much more of this." But no voice answered. No miracle arrived. Still, he didn't quit, because somewhere, deep beneath the rubble of his life, there was something still alive. Not hope, not faith, not even belief, just will. That raw animal part of the human soul that refuses to die. The fire that flickers even when the wind howls through the broken windows of your life. He didn't keep going because he thought it would get better. He kept going because giving up wasn't an option. Not for him, not now. People ask him now, "How did you do it? How did you come back when everything was taken from you?" And he doesn't have a pretty answer. Because the truth isn't wrapped in motivation quotes or Instagram captions. The truth is blood and grit and tears on a pillow at 3 a.m. The truth is standing in the mirror looking at a version of yourself you no longer recognize and deciding that this is not where it ends. He started with what he had left, and some days all he had left was breath, so he took that breath and used it. He got out of bed even when it felt like the sheets were made of chains. He put his feet on the cold floor and stood up, even when every bone in his body screamed to stay down. He started rebuilding, not his bank account, not his resume, not his public image, but his spirit, because he understood something most people never learn until it's too late. The world can take everything from you except the choice to keep moving. Brick by brick, he began to climb. There were no cameras, no crowds, no one cheering, just him digging into the trenches of his soul, clawing back inches of strength from the jaws of defeat. There were days he wanted to collapse, nights he didn't sleep, moments he cried so hard his lungs gave out. But he got up. Again and again and again, he learned how to be his own motivation. He stopped waiting for permission, stopped asking for someone to save him. He realized no one was coming. No hero, no miracle, no easy way out. And when he finally accepted that, something changed. The pain didn't stop, but he stopped being afraid of it. He stopped resisting the fire and learned how to walk through it. And with every step he took, something inside him grew stronger. Not louder, not prouder, stronger. The kind of strength that isn't built in comfort, it's forged in chaos. It's the kind of strength that doesn't brag or boast. It doesn't scream for attention. It just endures, silently, relentlessly. He became a man who could carry pain without bitterness, who could walk through rejection without shutting down, who could lose everything and still find a reason to rise. He was not born strong. Life made him that way. Through heartbreak, through humiliation, through loneliness so deep it felt like drowning in silence. And still, he didn't quit, because he knew that one day he would look back and understand that the pain wasn't punishment, it was preparation. The suffering wasn't the end, it was the beginning of discipline, of wisdom, of power that can't be faked. He started helping others, not with speeches or slogans, but by showing up, by being the man who doesn't run from pain, who stands in it, owns it, and uses it. He didn't tell people what to do. He showed them what's possible when you refuse to break. And slowly people began to notice, not the comeback, but the character, not the success, but the substance, because anyone can win when the path is smooth. But it takes a different kind of soul to keep walking when the road is covered in glass and every step cuts deeper than the last. He still remembers the days he had nothing, and that memory keeps him grounded. It keeps him humble. It reminds him that no matter how high he climbs, it's not the applause that matters, it's the process. It's who you become when everything is stripped away. It's what you do when no one believes in you, not even yourself. That's the fire. That's the crucible. That's where real men are made. So if you're listening to this right now and you feel like everything's falling apart, like no one sees your pain, like you're carrying the weight of the world and your legs are about to give out, don't quit. I don't care how tired you are. I don't care how many people left you. I don't care how broke you are, how lost you feel, how loud the voice in your head is screaming at you to give up. Don't quit. You're in the fire, I know. But the fire isn't there to kill you. It's there to burn away the weakness, the lies, the illusions. It's there to introduce you to the version of yourself you were always meant to become. You can't run from it. You can't numb it. You can't bury it. You have to stand in it. Let it hurt. Let it break you. Let it strip away everything that isn't real. Because on the other side of that pain is freedom, and if you just hold on, just take one more step, one more breath, one more minute of fight, you'll get there. You'll become him, the man who had nothing left, but still didn't quit. And that man, he's unstoppable. Because once you've survived the fire, you stop fearing it. Once you've faced the darkness, you no longer need the light to keep going. Once you've rebuilt yourself from the ruins, you realize no one can take that version of you away again. You earned it. You bled for it. You became it. So don't quit now. Not when you're this close. Not after all the nights you survived. Not after all the tears you wiped alone. Not after all the times you kept going when every part of you wanted to stay down. You didn't come this far to stop here. You came this far to finish the war, so get up, clench your fists, wipe your face, and keep going. Because you've already done the impossible. You lived through hell. Now walk out of it and show the world what a man who never quits really looks like.